Hi, I'm Sam.
Oh, and I'm Max.
And this is Movies Actually, where we give an honest review of the movies we've so mischievously meddled with over at Maybe Movies. Oh God, that gets a bigger mouthful every time I say it. One of these days I'm just going to give up, but not this time. Anyway, this month we are talking about The Witch. The 2015 directorial debut of Robert Eggers, at least in feature form, featuring the talents of Robert Innocent, Kate Dickinson, and Anya Taylor-Joy, amongst others. It's the 1630 set tale of a family of homesteaders as they fare after being banished from their plantation for religious extremism. Bearing in mind, this was the puritanical age, and they were considered too extreme. Anyway, Max, how did you actually come across this movie?
I'd heard of it. It was when this came in 2015. I probably didn't. I think I saw it. 2017. Was that when it turned up on Netflix?
I think so. I'm not sure, but that's around about the time I found it myself. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd heard of it, and that was about it. And then I just happened to be browsing one evening, and I was like, "Oh, well, that's on there. Okay, I'll watch it."
I think it was like 3:00 in the morning for me, but it was a very similar scenario. Yeah, I'd heard about it, that it was a different kind of horror movie. That it was, I don't want to say intelligent, but it was a slow burn that gave you a lot to think about. That's what I heard about it.
Yeah,
and when I watched it, it was everything they said.
It doesn't disappoint. It really is, certainly within the genre of folk horror. It's a game changer. It deserves to be on the same level as things like The Wicker Man, things like that.
Rosemary's Baby.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's certainly. Oh, I was going to say something.
Then say it. Say it, my friend.
Yeah, my brain's just gone, I'm going to hide this away.
No.
And I'll send it back out to you later.
The computer says no.
Oh, crap. What was I going to say? It's gone.
Attention to detail.
That was one of the things. I mean, I can't remember if I'd heard that beforehand.
I'm not talking about what we know about Eggers now with his attention to detail in terms of set design and stuff like that, but just like if you're at all interested in witchcraft folklore, especially American witchcraft folklore, this is the film for you. It really is. There's a lot of the stuff in there. Previous to this, I was saying the only trope they missed was the gentleman in black in the woods. And then I just noticed on rewatching today that the gentleman in black does feature ever so briefly in the background of one of the scenes. So yes, pretty much every American folklore tale about witches and the devil are in there.
I'll make sure to put spoiler warning on this one.
Oh, right, yeah. It's about the details. I mean, have you never noticed that every time there's a scene with the witch or something like that, there's only one scene where the other characters are involved? And that scene is when they're isolated from everyone else. It's conceivable that those scenes are just their fevered imaginings of what's actually happening.
That is true.
Now, I'm the kind of guy, I think I've said this before, when faced with a psychological or supernatural question, I'll always lean towards supernatural. I've always found that the more interesting response. So for me, I view that film as a view of, American witchcraft folklore enacted.
That's what I find. I mean, talking about, so just moving briefly on to talking about Eggers again as a director, and as you said, from the other things that he's done since, it is that attention to detail that is so refreshing. It seeps into the very fabric of the film itself. The idea that the belief systems of the people that he's filming about, whether it's the witch or whether it's Norse mythology, that is in The Northman, which came out earlier this year, their beliefs have power.
They shape the reality that they experience. Yeah.
You have to allow yourself to believe that their beliefs are real. And as you say, they shape the reality around them. And what I really do like about his work is he doesn't need to tell you that. There is nothing going, look, you need to think this. It is just there.
No.
Just a modicum of understanding of the period, of the civilization that he's covering in his films is enough to know, oh right, so this shit is real.
Yeah. The film doesn't hold your hand in that respect. I mean, the language and just the religious terminology that they're using, a lot of it's not used anymore. So you need to invest in it and it really doesn't take more than about 5 minutes to dive into their use of language. It's not that different from ours. It's just enough different that we understand we're in a different world and a different paradigm.
Mm-hmm.
And he just pulls that off so well. You could easily view this film as a lens through religious fanaticism. It could be an analysis of the supernatural folklore of North America. It could be an example of ergot poisoning from a bad harvest and the hallucinations that might ensue from such an experience. There are a number of interpretations of this movie that are left wide open by the director, clearly very deliberately, and I do appreciate that. Every time I watch the movie, I keep noticing a new angle that I might be viewing the film from, and I have to decide, this is what I want to believe? Because the film's not going to tell me what to believe. It just shows you stuff, and you have to decide. I like it.
Too right, absolutely. That's very succinctly put as well. You've seen The Lighthouse.
No, I haven't.
Oh, I thought you had.
No, I've heard a lot about it. I've seen a bunch of reviews, but I've not seen the movie. I was going to watch it a couple of weeks ago.
And I was going to watch it last night, and then I think both of us... Well, as I found out, it's gone off Netflix already.
Damn it. Boo.
You see, I was always a bit curious about that one, because I know what it's based on. It's based on the poem... what's it called?
Oh, this is interesting.
It's based... I can't remember if the poem is just called Flannan Isle, or it's like The Crows of Flannan Isle or something like that.
Uh-huh.
But it's set in a lighthouse.
Okay.
And it's a long poem.
Okay.
I can't remember if I could... Well, if I remember...
When you say a long poem, are we talking like Rime of the Ancient Mariner, or are we talking Beowulf?
No, it's not... Oh, no, it's not in cantos or anything like that.
Oh, right, okay.
I think... I say a long poem. I think it's about the side of A4, I think. I can't remember. It might be a bit longer.
Well, no, that's more like the Rime of the Ancient Mariner, then.
Yeah. It's not like the Divine Comedies or anything like that.
Oh, no. Right, okay, good.
But yes, it's... From what I understand of the film... I think that's what it was taken from, the idea, which I've seen adapted in something else as well.
Okay.
I've seen it adapted in Doctor Who.
Layers.
That's where I've seen it adapted. We'll get to that.
Okay, that's a discussion for another channel.
Yeah.
Or at least another show.
Yeah.
Eggers really invests not just in his characters and their psychology, but in the time period itself. It's not just evident in the language or the characterization. Knowing what we know now about Eggers, it's very likely that their homestead was actually built in the style of a homestead of the period, and they actually acted out the scenes not on a set, but on location in a built 1600s farmstead, which is just incredible to think about. That must have been a nightmare to light.
It must have been, yes. I suppose the one benefit of that though is that because you're building it with the intention of filming, so you can.
They could have built holes and places for the camera to go and stuff. Yeah,
but it also does bring up the question. Whether I know we talked about it earlier. It was one of the things that we looked at when we did this on Maybe Movies.
Yeah,
was how the hell has he built all of this himself? But again, with the attention to detail that Eggers brings to it, I'm sure he probably figured it out that. Could one person do this?
Well,
what would be within the limits?
As I said, certainly it's been proven that theoretically one person could do this. It would probably take them at least a year, but with just a little bit of extra help. All right, he doesn't have any adults to help him apart from his wife who's pregnant, but there's still a boy, there's still the girl. They can lift and carry things and hold the other end steady whilst he's hammering in the pegs. Yeah, they could do it. They could do it in a season, well, in a long season, like, spring, summer kind of thing. Yeah, they could do it.
But yes, this is definitely, again, if you are any shape or form a horror fan, it's a must, really.
And this movie doesn't want to make you jump out of your seat. And even though it does have a few moments of physical violence, it doesn't in any way focus on the gore. It's not about grossing you out or making you jump. It's about making you feel disquieted, uneasy, and unsettled with the situation you see in front of you. there's definitely value in that kind of movie.
There is, yes. Because then you'll walk away going, am I a good person?
Now, if you're a good old-fashioned gorehound, you might be a little disappointed, and this might not be the movie for you. But that's fair enough. No worries. Move on. There's always another Hostel.
Oh, God. Hostel's alright, actually. Hostel's alright.
No, actually, Hostel's one of the better ones of that particular type, but I'm not a torture porn fan.
But I know you haven't, but if you do, even if you haven't seen this, do also go and check out The Northman. It's slightly different, but which is out in the cinema at the moment.
I totally plan to see it as soon as I get a chance, yeah.
Yeah, it's worth it. Getting good performances all around. I know Anya Taylor-Joy is in that as well. She seems to be his go-to.
Well, she's got a very Nordic look about her.
She does, yeah.
So it does make sense.
But, I mean, I don't know about you. I think, well, certainly for me, it is a thumbs up for The Witch. It's actually, I'm going to actually give it 2 thumbs up.
Yep, 2 thumbs up. An intelligent, slow-boiled movie that takes you on a tour of early American neuroticism.
Yeah, absolutely. You did say
Make of that what you will.
you did say what I thought you said there, didn't you? It's all right. You know what I mean.
Probably. Control yourself, sir.
I can't. I've been living deliciously.
Oh, deliciously. Butter. But yes, it is a thumbs up if you're looking for something intelligent, not too challenging, but just a little bit challenging. Check it out.
Yes. And then also go and have a look online. If I can find it, I'll stick it up there. Somebody did a mock-up Playmobil set of the Playmobil set of The Witch.
I'm both horrified and intrigued. I think I need to see this.
Well, it will be here somewhere, hopefully, if I can find it. But, cool. So, what are we doing next? I think,
The Colour Out of Space.
Yay!
Great movie for so many reasons, but we'll get to that next time.
We will. If you'll excuse me, I live in the well now.
I'm leaving. Anyway, guys, you take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
As always, TTFN.